The bigger guy out wide in the centre channel, and Samoa exploited that. And you know, they got turned over a couple of times out wide, and they weren't able to compete with the Samoans in the wide out channels where their backline was slightly lighter. So disappointing.
Yeah, we saw the moment just before half-time with the turnover, and then the one-on-one tackles in the second half when Tupu went over. Matt Turner missing an assignment there proved crucial.
Yeah, it is, and it's sometimes it's not always about having the fastest guys out. It's about having the balance in your back line and balance in your forwards. And you know, Ellery being out sacrificed a bit of bulk for pace in bringing Turner and Norton playing together, when really there was probably an opportunity to play Jeff Williams there to try and just kind of counter the Samoan power. But fair play Samoa, they've reverted back to their old strategy of the two wide pods and the man in the middle playmaking, and they ran at England in the outside channels, and they ran hard and they caused problems.
OK, well, the next game coming up is between Argentina and Zimbabwe. England will play Zimbabwe in their second match of the day, so no doubt they'll hang around and have a look at this one. Difficult for Zimbabwe, isn't it? They're not a core nation, Mike, on the tour. How hard is it for the regional qualifiers to turn up at these isolated tournaments and put a performance together?
It's tough, but they need to come and find out where they're at. I mean, Zimbabwe run a pretty comprehensive programme. They travel around looking for tournaments, and obviously they're going to be in the qualifying one.
And Liam Middleton is their coach. Yeah,
Liam Middleton's gone back to be there. I think he's the technical director across all of Zimbabwe rugby. So they see sevens as their avenue into competing in the top tier, and they're going to be building towards Hong Kong for qualification. And you know, Kenya played them a couple of times last year. Always very, very competitive. They just need to minimise their mistakes, really.
Yeah, Mike mentioned they'll be building towards Hong Kong. At the Hong Kong Sevens next March, there will be a qualifying event where one team will win core nation status on the tour next year to replace a relegated team from the 15 existing core nations at the end of the season. So important that Zimbabwe get some momentum ahead of that event next year. Let's see how they go in their first game against Argentina in South Africa this weekend. This is from Pool D. Your commentators are Bob Skinstad and Gavin Cowley.
We're good to go?
Well, we will have prepared well for this. Liam Middleton and his team, managers, etc. around him would have got this team as ready as they can be for a team that they think they could possibly beat, but they're going to have to work hard to do that.
So Gaston Ravon gets it perfect, and it's brilliantly taken there by Zimbabwe in the form of Njabula and Ndlovu. Of course, the Ndlovu name is a very famous one in Zimbabwe too. So first up opportunity for them now. Little change of direction. Of course, these players are all on full-time contracts now in Zimbabwe, so the professionalism is certainly there, and we know Zimbabweans generally to be good athletes. So here's Chidakwindo, and the knock-on, I think, came from Ndlovu.
Yeah, it was that little inside pass which Ndlovu just couldn't hang on to, but Chidakwindo, Tafadzwa is his first name, and a real pace merchant. Look out for him, as well as Tanga Nemediri. Both very fast, 11 and 7. Those are the two numbers you should look out for. Argentina, good possession from the front of the line-out.
And happy to run from inside the in-goal area. That's the kick downfield. They employed the kick a few times last week in Dubai too. Of course, what they're looking for is a kick pass, so essentially a ball that you can win back, not just an aimless kick downfield. But they are dangerous on the counter-attack too. Brazzoni with a little kick downfield. This is a big chase. Of course, Zimbabwe are blessed with some great athletes. Clever play, just hold it back somewhat. This is Fortune Chipendu, who normally plays in the lock or flank position. Just shows you what brilliant athletes sevens produce these days. So, Argentine now with a little tap and go.
Matthijs Moroni's got the ball at the ground there, but Nicolas Brazzoni, like you said, their playmaker, he tells everybody, calm down, and I'll take it. A set-piece move. Seventh, the tap kick penalty is used as a set-piece. You often see the guys with a bit of trickery to try and get an advantage, a man over if they can.
Well, that's good play by them, because they've opened up the space, and here comes the try then, courtesy of Lucas De Vincenzi.
Well, that's exactly what we were saying, and just watch this little move here. It's a fantastic angle that's run by De Vincenzi, but it's created by the pass, the hold-up, and then the good pass inside. He's the try scorer. He'll just fuel up a little bit.
Well, first blood then to the Argentine, and an opportunity for a goal. Of course, we know them as good kickers at goal too. So much of an emphasis on making sure that you get your kicks over. Well, this time it hasn't gone over. Interesting, Bob, too, that what Argentine do quite often, Argentina, is they use Martin Chipisoni, who's the tallest and heaviest guy on the side, as a ploy runner, and then move the ball in a different direction.
Well, absolutely, and that's what happened there. It opened up for De Vincenzi. He did exceptionally well. He scored the try. Zimbabwe had possession right on the Argentina line in the zone. They wanted to score. They haven't managed it. They're going to have to get back now and get a converted try to take the lead.
Well, that would be some confidence for them. Well, Gaston Revol has picked this up, but the ball has gone forward from Matt O'Brien. Says we'll come back for a scrum.
Well, Revol thought he was in for all money, and there was no one chasing him. I was a bit confused for a few seconds, but then we saw in the middle of the field, and it's a scrum, and an attacking scrum, although it's just inside their half for Zimbabwe.
Tango Mnemadira scored. He's in fact the top scorer for Zimbabwe with 351 points in their sevens history. That's him with the ball right now. Now the chip and chase, and this is where you can bring pace into the mix. Argentina don't have a pile of gas men, so if you can get the ball in behind them, it could be in your favor.
Well, look at this. It's a fantastic piece of play. And it's almost like a defender in the Premier League sliding in just to stop the striker. Good work to get that out, but still gives Zimbabwe an attacking opportunity. The win from Argentina, though, stolen the ball in that line out.
Yeah, they come again from their goal line. And it's another big kick downfield. So again, happy to hoof it downfield, then come up in a line, make sure you defend correctly. But Zimbabwe seem to be holding their own now. If they can play it wide, got some pace here certainly, and an opportunity for them inside there from Chitaquindo. Nemadira caught in possession, but they've held on to it. Key thing is to make sure that you stay on the park, don't get shoveled into touch, but better still hold on to the ball. So Zimbabwe guilty a little bit of not holding on to the ball. Well, that's a neat little step there from Brazzoni. Back in field, Chipisoni. In fact, that's De Vincenzi. He's also a big fellow. Change of direction. Now here comes the big fellow. Martin Chipisoni. He's held off the attempted tackle there from Ndlovu. And Argentina, 2 scores to the good.
A lovely play from Argentina. Again, Zimbabwe will be disappointed with themselves. They were on the attack. They had the ball in the red zone, in the area where you want to score tries from, and Argentina with a couple of little clever switches and inside passes, creating a try-scoring opportunity down the other end of the field for themselves.
So clever play is the order of the day for Argentina without having the necessary speed in their team.
That's 30 seconds. Take the kick.
So there's the warning from Matt O'Brien. You have to take your conversion kick within 30 seconds of the try being scored. So Argentina were a little bit sluggish there. Gaston Revol. Good on Matt O'Brien. You'll find the referees are very strict on a number of things, and especially the breakdown area. You're not allowed to throw the ball away. You've got to take those kicks within 30 seconds. Keep the game flowing. Sevens is fast rugby. Boyd Rouse, who's one of the debutants for Zimbabwe, what an occasion for him to be in this fantastic stadium. So winning a penalty for Zimbabwe.
He must get up immediately.
Taking it quickly.
Key is, of course, to use the width of the field to your advantage when you can. It tends to help open up space, then maybe a change of direction. Route 1 isn't always the answer. Pick up from Nechirongo. He plays his rugby in Germany. Oh, that's lovely play out by Zimbabwe. Now, can they finish this off? You're going to hear a huge cheer from the crowd. The try is scored, and it belongs to Njabulu Ndlovu.
Yeah, well done to Ndlovu there. It was a lovely work try from Zimbabwe. Watch this. There's the dummy, actually, from that Tanga Nemadira, who did so well. And then just slipping inside, and Ndlovu knew that he was over for all money.
So better play there from Zimbabwe. Liam Middleton, their coach, will be really pleased as they bring professionalism into the game here in the southern reaches of Africa. Not the easiest of conversions, right from the touchline, and just past the left-hand upright. So that's half-time then, and it's a pretty tight match here at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. Zimbabwe scoring that try on the stroke of half-time. 2 other tries belong to Argentina, and that's confirmation of the half-time score. Let's hear what the coaches have to say in the huddle.
Honestly, hard work, huh? Fucking work, everyone. Okay, let's go.
Jesus! Well, back live then. Here we are with that. In fact, we didn't go away. We were here at half-time talking or listening in to what was said there by Liam Middleton in particular from Zimbabwe. But they're still in this race, Zimbabwe.
Absolutely. I mean, I think if you look at the score, 10-5, 1 converted try, and they're in the mix then. And they've had more opportunities than Argentina have. Argentina have created nothing. Look at the passes completed stat, which is in front of us here, and you know, they've had 8 incomplete passes, so they're giving away possession. There's a nice attack.
Well, they've got to hold their lines, Zimbabwe. That's one of the key things. Argentina have got a good skill set. If they haven't got the sheer pace that they might be wanting. Back inside there is Matias Moroni, just searching for a 2-on-1 situation. And the key thing is Zimbabwe got to make their tackles. So just stepping up the game here are Zimbabwe. Chipasoni very much involved, and this is just trying to pick up the key man there, Vincenzi, who's already scored a try for Argentina. So they're in the strike zone right now. They've got a 3-on-1. Surely it's a try for Matias Moroni, who was very involved in the build-up to this try.
Yeah, it's a good score from Moroni, and Da Vincenzi did well holding up the ball. Zimbabwe are putting a lot of pressure on this team in terms of the long passes. They're getting in between the players, but they're just not finishing off the tackles. Look at that there. You can just see they've had to commit 3 or 4 players, and because of that, Matias Moroni had an overlap outside him, and in sevens, getting the overlap and working it is what these guys do for a living.
So Zimbabwe have brought on Lenient Tambuera, who will not want to be too lenient with these Argentines. He wants to score a try, I'm sure. It's a debut for him and a special occasion. Clever kick that from Argentina, absolutely spot on, just to keep the pressure on Zimbabwe in their own half of the field, close to the goal line.
Yeah, that's a tremendous kickoff. They saw the gap deep in Zimbabwe's half, and they've kicked off literally from the halfway line to the 5-meter line. So they've got a bit of aggressive defense.
Crucial line out. Absolutely taken to the front to Ndlovu with a try scorer. Now Zimbabwe want to keep their cool and their accuracy rate here close to their goal line. Well, they haven't done that, but they've picked it up. It went backwards. Here's a chance. Oh.
No advantage, knock on.
In fact, it was the same Tambuera who seemed to have maybe been able to slip his way through. This is good refereeing from Matt O'Brien. Application of advantage, so they'll come back. Midfield scrum.
Number 11. Sub.
Yeah, there was just as they tried the offload there from Zimbabwe, it was knocked on by Argentina. Matt O'Brien,
8 as well.
tremendous experience.
Yeah, answers. Yeah.
Spent a lot of time refereeing games like this, so he saw that little knock on. Fantastic application by Paddy O'Brien. who runs the ILB refs in this 7 series. They work with the assistant referees. They work with the in-goal referees. It's a team of 5 people on the field trying to give the best product available.
Deep attack here for Zimbabwe. Good stepping. Brilliant stepping, in fact. Now a chance for them. Chitaquindo has made quite a nuisance of himself on occasions. Downfield from Chipendu. Zimbabwe thought about the inside pass. Now it's Gardner Nechirongo, the man who plays his rugby in Germany, who, by the way, have got 83 rugby clubs. So this is a global game. Boyd Rouse up to Magunje. He's come on to the park too. Have they protected their possession? No. Argentina have taken it away. He has another chance for them, and it's going to be a second try. Well, not a second try for a particular man. It's Diego Palmer who's come on.
Well, he's literally come on, and that's his first touch of the ball, isn't it? He's got the ball in a bit of space, straight in and under the uprights, and Argentina now running away with it. It's 4 minutes gone in the second half. Zimbabwe trying valiantly, but Argentina's experience definitely showing through.
Yeah, Bob, and I think that's really the point. You know, they've shown, I mean, at the moment they are 8th in the World Series after 2 events, so they're right up there with the front runners. You know, a victory last week in the plate final against Wales, so they're a very competent outfit. But Sevens rugby is tough. You know, the World Series is not easy. Zimbabwe are, of course, in this Pool D, and there are no easy games.
Guys, get him to number 11, please.
I see Bisilela Shamala is also on for Zimbabwe. That's his debut. He's the man standing behind.
Guys, try get them to do that at the conversion next time, would you? Please. Do you hear what I said?
And a change for Argentina with Augustin Cuartos coming on. These changes are brought about to preserve the energy of players, of course, very importantly. So, not an easy ask, but as Bob Skinstad was saying, they do this for a living. So, wonderfully honed athletes. A back-to-back tournament this time out. Now a kick downfield from Chitaquindo. It bounces favorably for him, but he's got to knock it on.
Well, he's disappointed with that. He's shown a clean pair of heels. Look at that, and this ball was just too much. He got past his marker, and he would have had that ball. There came the dive in after that from Lucas Alcacer.
Shows the value of good kicking. Now Argentina trying to stay cool close to their goal line, but they've broken the first tackle. In Zimbabwe, guilty there of missing that tackle. It's opened up all sorts of space here. Charge downfield from Augustin Cuartos, and still he goes. Zimbabwe's defense has let them down. They try the length of the field.
Well, that really is a lovely piece of play from Augustin Cuartos. He shifted the ball around. He looked as if he was going to pass. He held it back twice, and that's what opened up the little gap. He's away. It's just a minute to go. But Argentina definitely laying a marker down here. They can score from anywhere. Zimbabwe have had some forays deep into Argentine territory, and Argentina, with their skill and experience, have turned it around. Watch Cuartos here. That's the one hold. The second one here, and then the handoff. And everything just opened up for the speedster.
Gaston Revol has kicked well for Argentina in this match, so they lead by those 26 points. And the cheaters, as the Zimbabweans are called, just desperately trying to stay in touch. They've given all their debutants a run on, so they'll feel a little bit better. And Matt O'Brien has given the penalty to Zimbabwe. Hands on the ball on the ground. Pick up from Boyd Rouse. Carry up by Shamala. Can Zimbabwe finish with a try? Do an enormous amount for their confidence. That's gone backwards. Lenience Tambuera trying to open up for Brendan Boshi, who's also on the field. So, final score then in this Pool D match then, with Argentina running up winners by those 26 points to 0. Downstairs is Siblos here.
Well, Liam Middleton back as coach of Zimbabwe. Liam, not the start you wanted, but you're coach now of a full-time Zimbabwe setup. Are you liking what you're seeing in general?
Yeah, look, we got 5 new guys here. A lot of them took the field today for the first time in an international tournament, and I think in parts it showed, but in parts it showed what talent they have got. We'll get better as each game goes on, and that's what I'm expecting from the guys.
Gearing up, of course, for Hong Kong and that promotion playoff. This is the only chance you're going to get on this stage before then. What are you going to need to work in particular before you get to Hong Kong?
Look, as I said, we're going to try and get better in every game. Our defence is our key thing, where we probably slipped too many tries here, but it's all down to individual stuff, and we can get better on that game by game.
Thanks, Liam.
Thanks.
So a good win for Argentina, 31 points to 5 over Zimbabwe in Pool D. So Samoa and Argentina, the winners so far from that pool. England, though, they're going to have to knock over both Argentina and Samoa if they're going to progress out of this pool and play cup footy on day 2. OK, coming up next.
So they see sevens as their avenue into competing in the top tier, and they're going to be building towards Hong Kong for qualification. And you know, Kenya played them a couple of times last year, always very, very competitive. They just need to minimise their mistakes, really.
Yeah, Mike mentioned they'll be building towards Hong Kong. At the Hong Kong Sevens next March, there will be a qualifying event where one team will win coronation status on the tour next year to replace a relegated team from the 15 existing coronations at the end of the season. So important that Zimbabwe get some momentum ahead of that event next year. Let's see how they go in their first game against Argentina in South Africa this weekend. This is from Pool D. Your commentators are Bob Skinstad and Gavin Cowley.
We're good to go.
Well, we will have prepared well for this. Liam Middleton and his team, managers, etc. around him would have got this team as ready as they can be for a team that they think they could possibly beat, but they're going to have to work hard to do that.
So Gaston Ravon gets it perfect, and it's brilliantly taken there by Zimbabwe in the form of Njabula and Ndlovu. Of course, the Ndlovu name is a very famous one in Zimbabwe too. So first up opportunity for them now. Little change of direction. Of course, these players are all on full-time contracts now in Zimbabwe, so the professionalism is certainly there, and we know Zimbabweans generally to be good athletes. So yes, Chitaquindo.
The bigger guy out wide in the centre channel, and Samoa exploited that. And you know, they got turned over a couple of times out wide, and they weren't able to compete with the Samoans in the wide out channels where their backline was slightly lighter. So disappointing.
Yeah, we saw the moment just before half-time with the turnover, and then the one-on-one tackles in the second half when Tupu went over. Matt Turner missing an assignment there proved crucial.
Yeah, it is, and it's sometimes it's not always about having the fastest guys out. It's about having the balance in your back line and balance in your forwards. And you know, R03 being out sacrificed a bit of bulk for pace in bringing Turner and Norton playing together, when really there was probably an opportunity to play Jeff Williams there to try and just kind of counter the Samoan power. But fair play Samoa, they've reverted back to their old strategy of the two wide pods and the man in the middle playmaking, and they ran at England in the outside channels, and they ran hard and they caused problems.
OK, well, the next game coming up is between Argentina and Zimbabwe. England will play Zimbabwe in their second match of the day, so no doubt they'll hang around and have a look at this one. Difficult for Zimbabwe, isn't it? They're not a coronation, Mike, on the tour. How hard is it for the regional qualifiers to turn up at these isolated tournaments and put a performance together?
It's tough, but they need to come and find out where they're at. I mean, Zimbabwe run a pretty comprehensive program. They travel around looking for tournaments, and obviously they're going to be in the qualifying one.
And Liam Middleton is their coach.
Yeah, Liam Middleton's gone back to be there. I think he's the technical director across all of Zimbabwe, right?
And the knock-on, I think, came from Ndlovu.
Yeah, it was that little inside pass which Ndlovu just couldn't hang on to. But Chitaquindo Tafadzwa is his first name, and a real pace merchant. Look out for him, as well as Tanga Nemediri. Both very fast, 11 and 7. Those are the two numbers you should look out for. Argentina, good possession from the front to the line-out.
And happy to run from inside the in-goal area. That's the kick downfield. They employed the kick a few times last week in Dubai too. Of course, what they're looking for is a kick pass, so essentially a ball that you can win back, not just an aimless kick downfield. But they are dangerous.